The separation. The separation. Our separation probably occurred not long after we got back together, to be honest. But we got, I think it was the 23rd of December 2012 that Trish said to me she wasn't sure whether she wanted still to be married to me. We'd got back together in 2007, and I think that in between 2007, and that was the February of 2007, she'd said sort of 4 or 5 times she wasn't sure whether she wanted to be married to me. So came the December, we're lying in bed, she told me that, gutted. She'd asked, she was the one that ended our marriage to begin with. She was the one that asked me back. It took me 2 months to decide to go back. I had started to move on with my life. I had a house, I had a good job, I was progressing. I'd started seeing someone, and I think that was the catalyst for her to go, I want you back. And probably, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but, I went back after conversations with her about how it was going to change and get better and blah, blah, blah. But so came the December, again, gutted again. I remember taking off my wedding ring at that point in time and giving it to her and saying, well, okay. Then on the 29th of November 2015, it was a Friday morning. I got up at 5 o'clock, as I usually did, to go for a run, catch up with some mates, and there in my top of my bag was a note. And the note effectively said our relationship was over. She wanted out. Our daughter, who was 17 had broken up with her boyfriend that she'd had for over 12 months. And if she could do it, Trish could do it. Gave her a bit of strength. I have issues with that, but anyway. So that was how I found out that our relationship was over. And that was crap. I'd read the note, I put it in the recycling, and I went running. And didn't say anything to anyone. That weekend was shitty. I didn't talk to Trish really on Friday. Saturday, I think on the Sunday, she was in the lounge room, in the good room, and I went in and said, I apologise for my behaviour. I said, pride is wounded and I'm hurt, and as such, that's what it was. But ultimately, she wants out, I can't make her love me. And whatever she wants, she can have. Don't care. At that point, I sort of suggested that by the beginning of February I'd be moving out. And, that was where it was sort of left. She was never one to communicate at all well, and she admits that. But, I guess 3 years I'd been sort of pushing of, what do you want? Stop being half pregnant, what do you want? And the reality is, I guess, it wasn't, as I said, it wasn't a surprise, but it's still gut-wrenching to know that it's over. People who have known me and who know me very well, whether it be family or friends, have made comment that, well, you weren't in a marriage anyway, you weren't in a relationship, you were just co-parenting, or you're parenting your kids together under the one roof. But we won't go down that path. So I had to come to terms with what that meant, how that was going to work, and what it was to look like. In asking Trish, what did it mean? The answer I got was, I don't know. Okay, how do we do it? I don't know. So not only was it she wanting to separate, she wanted me to do the work to make it happen. And that was a real kick in the guts for me. It's like going to, the analogy I have is, it's being told you're going in front of the firing squad, but can you clean the guns and load them and put them to your head for someone else just to pull the trigger? You know, great, fantastic. I'm going to be separated and I've got to do the work to make that happen. And to me, that was crap. I hated it. It didn't surprise me because of, you know, the way things were, but just hated it. I'm the sort of person that is quite a giver. I saw putting my kids first as a priority. In hindsight, not a good move. And for anyone else who's separating, if you're not in a good spot, either financially or emotionally, then you're not going to be in a good spot for your kids. And you, without being an arsehole and being a prick to your ex, you've got to come up with some sort of balance for everything, in order that you can move forward and they can move forward too in a positive way, but you don't leave yourself in a detriment. There are a number of blokes, stories I've been told since, of, you know, blokes who have said, yeah, take it all, I'll give you 100% of, you know, whatever, I'll walk out with whatever I can carry, blah, blah, blah. And then they're not in a good spot where they can have their kids or have them in a position where it's working. So that's an issue. And I think guys have to work out and not be a prick about it and not try and take them for everything, but try and come up with some sort of balance around that. You can't just take it lying down. You can't just roll over but you can't also be nasty about it. So where that balance is, I don't know. And possibly getting a third party involved, preferably not lawyers, because they just cost money. If you can do it amicably, I think you're in a very good spot. So our relationship was that it was over, and I had to do the work to make it happen, which is, you know, as I said, bullshit. If you want something, you make it happen. She wanted out. It wasn't my choice to go out, but that was just the reality of it, and I had to make it all happen. It's got to be a 50-50 thing. If you're going to break up, then it's got to be 50-50. That'll do for this one. Bye.